Have you ever looked at your cat and felt like you were sharing your home with a tiny, furry roommate who speaks a completely different language? You love them, you feed them, and you think you understand them. But what if everything you think you know about your cat's affection is actually completely wrong? Pet culture has conditioned us to believe that cats are just low-maintenance dogs in fur coats. We think their weird habits are just cute, little quirks. But the truth is much more fascinating, and maybe a little bit terrifying. Your cat is not a human baby, and they are not broken. They are highly calculated, evolutionary predators, operating on a secret psychological blueprint that most humans completely misinterpret. That random headbutt against your shin isn't a loving hug. That slow blink across the room isn't a sweet little kiss. Now, before you get defensive in the comments, hear me out. I am not saying your cat hates you. They do love you. But they love you like a wild predator, not a human child. For years, we have been misreading their signals and missing out on who they actually are. In this video, we are going to strip away the myths and decode the dark psychology behind your cat's most unsettling behaviors. We will look at why they stare at invisible things in empty rooms and the real, manipulative reason they wake you up right before your alarm goes off. If you stick with me until the very end, I am going to reveal a secret psychological trick you can use tonight to test exactly how much your cat actually trusts you. By the time this video finishes, you will never look at your pet the same way again. In fact, you will finally realize that you aren't the boss, and they have been training you all along. Let's dive into the secret world of your cat's mind. Now, let's look at the science of cat love. This is where most people get it completely wrong. Let's start with the classic headbutt, or what scientists call bunting. When your cat rubs their forehead or cheeks against your shins, it feels like a warm, fuzzy hug. But in the cat world, this is a strict property claim. Cats have secret scent glands all over their faces, specifically around their lips, chin, and forehead. When they rub against you, they are leaving behind invisible chemical markers called pheromones. They aren't saying, "I love you" in human language. They are painting you with their signature scent. They are telling the world that you belong to them, making you safe property. It is definitely a compliment, but it is driven by an intense need for territorial control. Then, there is the famous slow blink, which many people call a kitty kiss. You sit across the room, make eye contact, and your cat slowly closes and opens their eyes. It looks incredibly sweet, but the psychology behind it is actually a vulnerability test. In the wild, cats are both predators and prey. Closing your eyes around another creature is a massive safety risk. When a cat slow blinks at you, they are essentially lowering their shields. They are saying, "I am choosing to be completely defenseless around you, because I trust you won't attack me." It is a beautiful moment of survival-based trust, not romance. But what about when that trust suddenly turns painful? We have all experienced the love bite trap. Your cat flops over, shows you their soft, fluffy belly, and purrs happily. You reach down to pet them and, out of nowhere, they bite your hand. You feel betrayed, but your cat isn't crazy. First, the exposed belly is a sign of relaxation, not an invitation for a tummy rub. In the wild, the belly is a cat's most vulnerable spot. When you touch it, their predatory instincts instantly flash an alarm. Second, cats suffer from something called overstimulation aggression. Their bodies are covered in highly sensitive nerve endings. Too much petting overloads their nervous system, like a power surge. The sudden bite isn't a random act of malice. It is a sharp boundary marker. It is their way of saying, "System overload. Stop touching me right now." Now that we understand how cats express love, let's look at the ghost in the wall, and the 3 a.m. zoomies. This is where your cat's behavior starts to look genuinely creepy. Have you ever caught your cat staring intensely at a blank wall or a completely dark corner? It looks like they are seeing a ghost, and it can really freak you out. But they aren't communicating with the paranormal. The reality is that your cat possesses senses that are basically superpowers compared to ours. A cat's ears can detect ultra-high frequencies that humans cannot perceive. They can hear the tiny bugs crawling inside your drywall or the high-pitched hum of electricity running through your appliances. Their eyes can also see ultraviolet light and trace the movement of microscopic dust motes floating on subtle air currents. When they freeze and stare, they are analyzing a rich sensory world that is totally invisible to you. The same sensory overload explains the midnight sprints, or what internet culture calls the zoomies. It is 3 a.m. The entire house is dead silent, and suddenly, your cat transforms into a furry missile. They sprint across the living room, bounce off the couch, and race up the stairs for no apparent reason. You might think your cat has officially lost their mind, but this is actually a strict biological necessity. Cats are crepuscular animals. This is a scientific word that means they are naturally most active during the twilight hours of dawn and dusk. In the wild, this is prime hunting time when their prey is awake. Even though your house cat gets their food served in a ceramic bowl, their internal biological clock still expects them to hunt. If they spend all day sleeping on your bed, that predatory hunting energy builds up inside them, like a tightly coiled spring. The 3 a.m. explosion is just their body releasing that pent-up survival energy. They aren't crazy. They are just answering the ancient call of the wild, right in your living room. This brings us to how your cat has successfully programmed you. You might think you are the master of your house, but the psychology shows that your cat is actually the one pulling the strings. Let's start with the way they wake you up. It is 20 minutes before your alarm goes off and your cat is sitting on your chest, purring loudly, right in your face. It feels sweet, but it is a highly calculated manipulation tactic. Scientists have studied this specific sound and discovered something amazing, called the solicitation purr. When a cat wants food, they don't just use a normal, pleasant purr. They embed a high-frequency, unpleasant cry inside the purr. This hidden sound matches the exact frequency of a human baby's cry. Your human brain is biologically hardwired to find this frequency impossible to ignore. It triggers an instant feeling of anxiety and urgency in your chest. You get out of bed and fill their food bowl, just to make the sound stop. Your cat figured out your biological weak spot and engineered a sound to control you. The manipulation does not stop at breakfast. Have you ever watched your cat look you dead in the eye, raise a paw, and slowly knock a glass off the kitchen counter? You probably thought they were just being a jerk, but from a psychological standpoint, your cat is running a behavioral experiment. At first, knocking things over is just tactile exploration. In the wild, a predator bats at objects to see if they are alive or if they will run away. But inside your house, your cat quickly notices a pattern. Every time a glass hits the floor, you drop what you are doing, yell their name, and run into the room. To a cat, even negative attention is a massive win. They realize that they possess a magical button that forces their giant human servant to immediately appear. They aren't knocking things over because they are mean. They are doing it because they have successfully trained you to come when they call. Now, we have reached the final part, how to actually speak cat. By now, you realize that you do not own a low-maintenance dog. You share your living room with a small, wild predator. To build a true bond, you have to stop treating them like a human baby and start respecting their wild instincts. The first rule is to respect the boundaries we talked about earlier. When your cat exposes their belly, do not reach for a tummy rub. Instead, offer them a gentle finger toward their nose. Let them sniff you first and initiate the contact. This gives them control and makes them feel safe. The second rule is to give them a healthy outlet for their hunting instincts. If you want to stop the 3 a.m. zoomies, do not just leave toys on the floor. Use a feather wand to simulate a real hunt right before bedtime. Let them stalk, chase, pounce, and bite the toy. Then, feed them a small meal. This satisfies their natural biological cycle of hunt, eat, groom, and sleep, ensuring you both get a good night's rest. This brings us to the reward. I promised you at the very beginning of the video. Here is the secret psychological trick you can use tonight to test exactly how much your cat actually trusts you. Wait until your cat is relaxed and sitting near you, but not asleep. Look them calmly in the eyes, from a few feet away. Slowly close your eyes for 2 full seconds. Then slowly open them and look away to the side. Do not stare. By looking away, you are signaling that you are not a threat. Now, watch their reaction closely. If your cat looks back at you and repeats the slow blink, congratulations. You have passed the ultimate test. They are officially telling you that they feel completely safe in your presence and trust you with their life. If they stare blankly or ignore you, do not worry. It just means you need to keep practicing their language. So, does your cat do the 3 a.m. zoomies? Or are they currently staring at a ghost behind you? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to understand your pets better than they understand you, hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.